So the bartering continued. We continue in verse 12 to 16, Genesis 23. And Abraham bowed down himself before the people of the land, and he spoke to Ephron in the audience of the people of the land, saying, But if you will give it, you're willing to give it, but I pray thee hear me. I will give you money for the field. Take it from me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying to him, My lord, listen to me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What's that between me and thee? Bury therefore thy dead. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he had named in the audience of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, current money, with the merchant. My goodness. Abraham continued in his appeal to pay for the land. He did it by bowing himself before the people of the land again. My goodness, he did a lot of bowing there. He definitely gave all the Hittites the impression he was completely submitting to them. Now, but in verse 13, we read, If thou wilt give it, I pray thee hear me. I will give thee money for the field. Take it from me, and I will bury my dead there. This was a game of bartering played out between two players, with the witnesses not catching on right away. You see, in the Middle East, bartering is something that they all love to do. I remember living in downtown Toronto, and a Lebanese guy owned the variety store. And sometimes I knew that some of the stuff he was selling fresh was close to the expiry date. So I would talk to him. I would barter with him. So that after a while, he got to know me. I got to know him. Sometimes we would almost come to blows, and we would fight and yell and scream. And sometimes, well, most of the time when we did this, I got it for a cheap price. So that after a while, whenever I came into the store, he would say, Hey, Bernie, have I got a deal for you? But you see, here we find something similar, don't we? You see, they almost came to blows. How do I know this? I know how the Middle Eastern mind likes to barter. Now, do you realize that Ephron wanted Abraham to be at his mercy? And Abraham pretended to be at their mercy by bowing down. See, Ephron the Hittite had previously insisted in allowing Abraham unlimited access to his land for free. But nothing in this world is forever free, is it? You got to pay something for it. Verses 14 and 15 certainly is comical to me. I want to read that to you again. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying to him, My Lord, listen to me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. But what's that between me and you? Bury your dead there. See, Ephron told Abraham he was offering the property to him, but gave a monetary value to it. Do you see? If Abraham had taken that for free, they would have said, You owe us. This is how much it's worth. Ephron even added, What is that between you and me? 400 shekels of silver was what was between Abraham and him. That's what it was. Abraham weighed the said value of silver out, and in front of many, many witnesses, the property was transferred from Ephron to Abraham. Abraham was now in full possession of the cave of Machpelah, together with the field in which it stood, for a family burying place for many generations to come. But nothing comes without fine print, doesn't it? In the fine print, as we find out later, Abraham could never be allowed to set up his tent in the field in front of that cave. It was only meant as a burial place, his to have forever. It would have been much easier to take on Ephron and the sons of Heth in their offer of free land at Abraham's disposal, wouldn't it? I mean, after all, many of us, when we're offered something for free, we would probably say, Oh, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I've learned that nothing in life is really free. But there is a second component here. It would have been easy to take on Ephron and the sons of Heth in their offer of free land. Because after all, did God not tell him this land was his anyway? Besides this, what value would it have been to Abraham if nothing was paid and it cost him no sacrifice? Also, considering the volatile nature of the Canaanite tribes, paying a price would leave no doubt in anyone's minds whose property it now was. The exchanging of the money and a handshake was really what it was all about. Abraham owed them nothing. What an important lesson for us to learn, even as Paul, 2,000 years later, gave us this advice. Owe no man anything, but to love one another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. That's in Romans chapter 13, verse 8. But I close with this thought. I'm sure that there was no love lost between godly Abraham and the idolatrous Canaanites among whom he dwelt.